Hello everyone and welcome. This is a little follow-up video actually from the last one about interpretation concepts, because I think there are especially 3 different narratives in any storytelling or interpretation project that we often kind of build the experience around. I'm not always sure if we are kind of that aware of when we are in and out of these different narratives, but they can be quite important, and I think also really shape the sub-stories of any kind of storytelling project. So I thought they were worth having a look at. If you like the content of these videos, please remember to like them and subscribe to the channel and add your comments below. So let's just have a look at these. I think the most obvious one, the first one, is the sort of central message or the central narrative. This is usually the main theme or the purpose of the story. So why are we telling this story? What's the main theme around this story? This can be a time period, a historic period, a person, a historical person as well, an event. What's the sort of key reason for this story, whether it be in an exhibition context or an activity or whatever you're creating. The second narrative is the cultural narrative. So this is the setting, the physical setting, if there is a physical setting or online digital setting, the design, the perspectives you're taking, who is the main voice here, the possibilities around the narrative, the history of course, also the platforms where you choose to tell this story or have this project. And this is basically all the different story elements at play within your project. So this is very much about also your tone of voice. It's about if there is any kind of national or international perspective to things. It's about the culture, it's about the time where this story was told. It can also obviously be about the differences between a time and now, or between different cultures. So this is really what comes across in the cultural narrative. And your choice of setting, of platform, of objects, of design and so on will very much be part of shaping that. Then you have the final narrative, which is the sort of guest narrative or the guest transformation. This is the visitor's journey. This is where you identify the possibilities for transformation, for interaction, for immersion into this experience. Where does the story take your guests? What sort of journey are they going on? Where can they add to this story? Where are they building their own stories? Where does their experiences, their knowledge come into play here? And this is very much where I think it can sometimes be difficult to let go of your own story sometimes and allow the guests or the visitors to really shape their own. And very often this narrative is one that takes place after or outside any kind of physical storytelling project, like for example an exhibition or a physical activity or an event, but a narrative that goes on after or for longer, hopefully, because hopefully your project will have sparked so much curiosity that visitors actually want to continue to look into this and to continue their own narrative and their own transformation of the story. Narratives within a main story are really interesting to dive into, and they can really shape the outcome for visitors as well as for the experience creators, I feel. So sometimes it's really great to dive into these and just look at what are the narratives we're focusing on here, along with some of the interpretation concepts around designing for the imagination and for socialization that I talked about in the previous video. These are really at the core of any kind of experience creation, I feel. It's essentially about the purpose for the story. Why are you telling it? Why does it need to be told? And what does it do? What's it meant to do? Where is the transformation and the journey during this story, after you've heard the story, after you've been part of the experience, what is actually happening. And that journey, I think, is always fascinating and always different for everyone, for each individual. Please add your comments below. It would be so great to hear how you have approached this.